Yeah, welcome back, folks. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, so let's continue our journey here. Uh, Down to the Von Valencia Palace. And what do I want in here? Bella, you're out. Spring. That should cover most of my skill sets. I mean, I'm not going to do that. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can find out here. This is the quest to find out what happened to Abelard's family. Everyone, please stand aside. No need to crowd around. Governor Driveston will take care of everything. We got bodies outside my palace? What's going on here? Such a thing happened, right? What did we have here? Like, okay. You're confronted by the sight of dead bodies at the entrance of the palace. Corpses have been hauled into a pile. Some are dressed in uniforms of palace wardens, others are arrayed in the clothing typical of a Dragonus nobility. Upon seeing it, the enforcer stands at attention, swallows noisily, and trembles. Your lordship, we are honored by your presence. Let's examine them. Observation. There are high-functioning servitor specimens present among the expired units. Some specimens are traditionally bestowed upon noble houses that are most loyal to the sacred fellowship of the Adeptus Mechanicus. What? They're servitors. Augments of the deceased too differ from the implants ordinary people wear. Their intricate constructions make it clear that the deceased were not ordinary humans. As far as I know, House Caprakis has received such servitors from the Crimson Priesthood as gifts in the past. Although this is my first seeing one myself. What is this mess? You see, your lordship, the people wanted to attack. Clears his throat. Second Lieutenant of the Palace Guard, Elamwet, reporting. Shortly before he arrived, we averted an assassination attempt on the rogue trader. The palace soldiers detected intruders and engaged them in combat. Where is the Court Chancellor? I think she, with the rest of the House Western, detained in the throne room, that is. Governor Driveston has gathered all of Dragonus nobility here to pronounce a guilty verdict against the House. Why is he not here? I do not know, your lordship. Perhaps he is, you can probably find him in the throne room where the governor intends to put the House Western on top. Okay, I'll take my leave. What is going on here? Well, we know that there's a frame up here of some kind. The bears multiple wounds, evident they died recently. Ooh, awareness.
I did it.
Crumpled note inside the pocket of the assailant. Let's check. Oh, what do we got? What is this? The letter is soaked with blood. Only a portion of the text is readable through the crimson blotches. And discreet. Keep away from the lords and ladies. You must look like a noble to the servants and wardens. Do not engage in conversation with anyone. Your task is to avoid exposing yourself ahead of time and let the Westerns get away while the wardens are busy guarding the rogue trader. Okay. That's interesting. What else out here? Or just wardens. What's going on here? Okay, let's enter the Von Valencia Palace. What's going on here?
Sister Argenta, you are always shrouded in a greenish-gray mist when I see you. Is it me that troubles you? Or is it whatever I can see behind it?
My soul is open to the light and his faithful servants. The rest is merely fleeting frailties that hold no significance.
Oh, cutscene. What do we got going on? Let me through. I have an appointment with Chancellor Clementina Wesserin. My apologies, my lord, but you cannot go any further. Governor Drivestim's orders. This is ridiculous. I shall complain. Okay. What kind of people do I have here? I can't tell. Move over. His lordship, the rogue trader through. Let his lordship, the rogue trader through. Okay. Would bow. Okay, we jumped again. Urban Drivesteam, your lordship, 'tis an honor. I regret that such unfortunate circumstances have the occasion of the rogue trader's visit to the capital. Takes a step towards you, but the warden stops her. Face is veiled with weariness and fear. Your lordship, you are here. Please, you must hear us out. The rogue trader is undoubtedly here to listen to the testimony of each and every one of us and punish the traitors. The governor's words directed to Clementina are harsh. They are echoed by scornful sneers and whispers of the assembled nobles. We have known each other for many decades now, and we have had only our fair share of disagreements, but do you really think my flesh and blood would trample upon the very definition of honor and loyalty? His voice is quivering with rage. I didn't say that. I should have done a quivering and raging voice. Governor Drivestim, gazes over at Abelard, then replies, a faint shadow of a doubt in his voice. We have evidence implicating them, Abelard, and I'm sure that his lordship will arrive at a fair ruling. Okay. Good grief. What we got going on here? What are the charges? Disruption of logistic lines, bribery of Adeptus Administratium officials, document forgery, organization of heretical insurrection, on top of evidently devastating economic impact this has had on your protectorate. These criminal acts have impeded the delivery of imperial tithes, which in turn has drawn the administrative's attention. An esteemed member of the Adeptus Armbright is expected to arrive on Dargonus shortly, and before they do, we are obliged to identify and punish those responsible. Okay, Clementina, I wish to hear your account. Your lordship, House Western, denies all charges laid against it. This is the governor with defiance. These last few months have indeed been trying for Dargonus. We have done our best to remedy such. My family's every effort was focused on stabilizing the capital's logistics and economy. So much so that we failed to notice the web of intrigue unfolding behind our backs. What happened in my absence? When we caught wind of the rumor of your disappearance, we patiently waited news to your returns, but then Dargonus was struck by a series of terrible events. The first was a sabotage of logistics that hampered shipments. Then mass unrest spread across the entire planet. The minor noble houses began squabbling among themselves, trying to pin the blame on rivals. We took great pains to calm them down and managed to quash the revolt, though not without some outside help, unfortunately. Outside help. I wonder who outside help was from. These events have also been overshadowed by the, I am ashamed to say it aloud in front of you, your lordship, the rumors circulating among the higher houses. The governor stammers, then takes it. Some were calling for Theodora's true heir to be installed as head of your house. Conrad Volter? No. He's bad. He's heretical. Not all of your subjects have forgotten his past efforts for the benefit of the trade protectorate. Drivestim stops talking, watching you with a tense expression. When the investigation was launched, the evidence led us to the Westerns. Okay. Why are there dead bodies? Humbly beg your pardon. You see, right before your arrival, the palace guard discovered a plot to assassinate. Fortunately, the malefactors were disposed of before they could cause you any harm. Okay, Drivestem, you're not accusing one of Dargonis' leading noble houses of treason without airtight evidence. Of course I have evidence, your lordship. The investigation was established that members of the Western family, which is responsible for both Dargonis' fleet and logistics, used their contracts and influence to forge a host of documents in order to undermine the planet's supply route and economy, thus fomenting unrest among the inhabitants. Allow me to introduce my son, Cornelius. Points to a lanky young man standing. He bows curtly and avoids meeting your eyes. Holds a prestigious position at the Administratum Palace. And it is thanks to him that we managed to identify and trace the entire chain of forged documents. The investigation led us to the perpetrators who admittedly to acting on the orders of members of the House Westerun. It was they who were intent on spreading the idea of restoring the title of rogue traitor to the true heir. Really? The Westerns were gonna... That I don't buy. This young man is shrouded in mist of gray and blue. Sickly shadows of fear are fluttering around him. Oh, so yes, there is something about this this young guy. Oh, I didn't think. What was his name? We'll have to go after that. Look at it. Speak to the heads of the House Spread. Do you support the governor's accusations? Attendants exchange glances. Noble lords avert their gazes. Noble ladies hiding their... No one is willing to be first. Okay. First one to speak up is the Sourbacks. Over his many years of service, Governor drives to earn her trust and holds his high office for a reason. Tournament. I support the accusations. Governor Draxium has always faithfully served the rogue trader's house. Von Valencia has concerned himself with the future of your trade dynasty, so thinks his charges to be sound. The augments hide her emotion, but her voice sounds slightly timorous. Okay, so Sourbox are solid for it. She might not be all for it. I humbly ask you to allow me to speak in defense of a family R. The evidence provided by the governor is utterly false. I cannot refute it, but I can say with confidence no one from my family has ever tried to forge documents in the Adeptus Administratum, let alone undermine the economy of your capital. Your words alone are not enough to make me doubt the loyalty. Order you to release them from custody at once. Sabotage says the case appears to be flimsy. I wish to learn more before I make a final decision. I think this is the right answer. Oh, okay. As you wish, your lordship. Speak to me when you're ready to announce your verdict. 25 experience. Continue. Thank you for your willingness, Lord Captain. I'm certain that all the charges are false. I'd be grateful for your help in exposing them. As such, I think you should speak to everyone present. The noble lords and ladies. Okay. So where are the lords and ladies? Okay, up here are Sourbacks, Galprix, Drivestem. Let's go over here first.
Let the faith guide my path to glory!
Clementina West. Draw closer. Warden steps aside, bowing, allowing you to approach the Western family. Clementina, tired and slightly disheveled, is the first to bow her head in deference. Several men and women behind follow suit. Your lordship, accept my most humble apologies for failing to greet you properly, and my thanks for agreeing to speak to me before you make your final decision. Charges by the governor are severe, but I can only assume you of this and swear on my honor we are not guilty of crimes against that we're being accused of. Okay. Clementina, hint of sorrow. You are acting as head of the family. You were supposed to take care of each and every family member, and now you're being accused of treason, including against the rogue traitor, and the entire family is facing death. How could you let this happen? Are you guilty? You know that a member of the family is guilty. Crime should be... If you know that a member... Okay. Accused of. Continue. However, this is your family too, you know. Burn with defiance. My apology. I did not lose my composure. No member was ever involved in conspiracy against the Lordship. Honor and loyalty are not something taken. We know whom we serve. Yeah, so this is a very loyal family. It always has been. Governor claims you forged documents. The fleet is the primary remit of House Westerland. It is our responsibility. Logistics and supply routes are another area of our responsibility. We have no direct influence on the inner workings of the Adeptus Administratium. The first large-scale deliveries were cancelled after quantities of food were miscalculated by clerks in the Administratium. Then we were faced with incorrect weather data and a meager fuel budget. It is clear that the cause of the problem was the calculations performed in the Administratium. And in one way or another, no matter how many times we were asked, we could not ever obtain any clarification on the matter. Ah, so someone was mucking. Found this letter on one of the bodies? Your Lordship, let us be frank. It would be foolish of me to try to orchestrate something like this, knowing how many wardens are patrolling your palace. I would not have let myself or anyone else in the family get involved in such a scheme. The attackers are high-functioning servitors. Ones that look close to ordinary humans. Do you know anything about them? Servitors? Is that so? I've encountered servitors that were instinct with normal augmented humans, but only once. They were accompanying members of House Gaprick. Oh. Who is guilty? Anyone really. The Earl houses consider us unworthy of our position and would jump at a chance to get rid of us and gain control over once our domain. The planet's fleet and logistics at the very least. Okay. Lady Theodora chose to grant noble status to House, but other houses have served the Expanse for millennia. It is not welcome the decision. It led to some difficulties. Okay, that's fine. I want to find out what is going on here. Who's the real mastermind? Where should I start? Doctor, okay, it's just gonna take my leave. Okay, I gotta talk to everybody. What was that? Yeah, that was her. Let's here. I love how the...
Know your duty.
Oh, these are the Sourbacks. His Lordship will make the right decision. Punish the culprit. I'm sure of that. As long as Mix is ahead of our house, we'll have nothing to worry about. Okay. These are the Sourbacks. Your Lordship. Before the bower, scrutinize you with a bitter, judgmental look. Bitter, judgmental look, Your Lordship. Zarek, looking like the younger copy of Sara, stands with a slight distance close to his mother. An understated dress serves to highlight the dazzling beauty of his wife, Regina Sauerbach, in dialogue. Talk to Regina. All bear striking me some sort and the slender build and their strength. They bow to you almost in unison. Do you really believe the Westerns are guilty? No, we're going to get him, not his wife. I want to talk to his wife separately. Certainly! Replies without hesitation. Governor Dryden possesses proof of their guilt, and they have no means by which to refute it. Even if I were to entertain the idea that the Westerns are being framed, how much longer would their house have lasted anyway? if it is so ill-prepared for treachery. Okay. He addresses Abelard with a slight mocking tone. My advice to House Western would be not to appeal to the rogue trader for help, but instead simply stop, accept their fate, and not make matters worse for themselves. Cannot remember Malik von Valencia seeking your advice on the House Westerns should do in this situation. Pay attention. Marcus focused on the rogue trader's questions. Pay attention. There's focus on the rogue traders. Okay, so interesting. Who apart from the Westerns could have been motivated? House Drivestein, wishing to expand their clout. House Garpek, who lost their influence after the Kiva Gamma incident. Sauerbach looks back at his family and turns to you again. House Sauerbach, whose patriarch is too direct in his communications with the rogue trader. Anyone could have a reason to spy against you, and equally, we could have none. It's not a question of motive, but of loyalty. Each of your subjects has sworn an oath of loyalty to you, so whose sincerity do you doubt? I always thought Tortilla too weak to participate in such risky adventures, but it seemed I was wrong about her. Looks away briefly and replies to you with a curt laugh. He's awful flippant about this. Interesting. Current action, data extraction, memory repository servers take 3 standard Terran cycles decoding. Decoding what? Take 30 okay. Same thing. What about the servitors? Okay. More. Sauerbach people say anything else? No, it's all the same thing. Alright, everybody over here? These are the Galprits. Okay, so... Vincent. Ladies and lords, scrupulously dressed in the colors of House Goprek, are standing in a half circle around Toria and her son, Vincent. Oh, I should have talked to Tortina. Bodies and faces of almost every member of the dynasty are covered in large, ornate augments. Okay. Tortina curtsies to you. Her mechanical voice sounds distant and indifferent. Greetings, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. With a click, her visor oculars swivel to the central. Abelard, it must be difficult for you to be here under the cigarette with your house standing accused of such a grave crime. Okay, a little sympathetic there. My family, their turn, is yet to be found guilty of anything. That verdict is the rogue trader to reach. Do you think the accusations against the family are true? I would not take such a responsibility upon myself and rule them guilty, your lordship. I do think Governor Drivesom's actions are worthy of consideration, however. That's interesting. He doesn't accuse them, like the Sauerbachs did. In your opinion, which nobles might have reason to be party to such a conspiracy? She thinks for several months. Pardon my bluntness, your lordship, but I'll answer truthfully. It could be anyone. Greed, fear, ideals can drive even the most loyal subject to the unthinkable. I examined the bodies of the assailants that were killed today. All of them were high-functioning servitors. Such servitors are only employed by families close to the addicted. Is that so? It is impossible to read her emotions. They are heavily augmented, but her sudden turn towards her family betrays her confusion and surprise. Perplexed whispers bounce from one family member to another. Impossible. We came here by ourselves without any servitors. We know nothing about it. Okay, well that sounds... So the servitors are not theirs. Your lordship, thank you for informing of this. You're absolutely right. My house has indeed been endowed with high-functioning servitors. A blessing for those who revere the Omnissiah, but today, none of our house members were accompanied by them. Found this note on the body. Officially, high-functioning servitors are employed by my house, and my house alone. If such units were to attack the regiment, suspicion would instantly fall upon the Galpricks. I assume that is what the Westerns intended this to happen, but they did not expect the servitors would have this done. Why would they have that letter on them? Why would they have that letter on them? That sounds like a plant. Okay. Vincent, I wish to speak to you. Ready to serve, your lordship. How may I help you? I know you. Okay, hang on. What? That's right. He does care for her. What do you make of the charges against the family? Could they truly be guilty? I do not think I can doubt the validity of the accusation, but trails off, seems to repeat himself. Before he continues, I am also not sure that House Western had a reason to betray you. Your Lordship, I do not know of any instance where their loyalty to you or the Emperor is anything less than unwavering. I know you care for... The young man scrutinized his mother. There is something you ought to know, Your Lordship. Vincent's jaw augments screeches slightly. The young man scrutinized his mother and other family members for a moment. There is something you ought to know, Your Lordship. Today, I noticed one of the family members to be in odd, uncharacteristic mood. Howling Geprik is my paternal second cousin once removed. May the Emperor save his soul. Usually reserved and self-possessed, today he was frantic and anxious. Fidgeting with a small piece of paper and something looking for someone to no avail. When I last saw him, he was headed to the entrance hall where the altars are. Perhaps you should talk to him. Will do. Okay. Take my leave. Go find this guy.
Let us walk this path to the end.
Okay, so over here is drive stems. Let's not go there. Let's find him. Where is this guy, Vincent? See out here. See him. The altars.
We shall reclaim what is rightfully ours.
Altars are down here, aren't they? Is it this group? Where is he? There he is. Finely dressed man, middle years, is kneeling in front of the altar. Come on. It's fine. His palms folded prayer to his close. Faint. The implant-free parts of his skin are sickly blue colored. The nobleman does not react to your breath. He does not lift his head. He does not even breathe. Only when you draw close you realize that the man is dead? He's dead? Good grief. Ira looks at the man, his eyes grim. The colors of House Galprek. I did not believe he decided to take his own life in such an extravagant way. He knew something and he's been murdered. As far as I know, there was a warden posted here, but I do not see any wardens. There is no one to ask about what happened here or whom this man spoke to before he died. I would like to ask Urban where the palace guards suddenly disappeared to. Henrik, a familiar sight. There's a poisonous and rapidly damaged nervous system, causing a paralytic spasm throughout the body once injected. The victim usually suffocates slowly, painfully, unable to call for help. Examine the body. Success. No visible wounds in the body, but near the edge of the gold-trimmed collar you notice a tiny puncture in the blue skin, likely caused by a thin needle. Search the pockets. Pocket in the lining of the dead man's luxurious jacket. You find a folded piece of paper inside, hiding behind a handkerchief embroidered with the initials HG? Make sure the rogue trader is attacked by someone loyal. It should appear as if it was staged to let the Western family escape. This is the last assignment. Soon your debt will be paid off in full. Look around. You are almost certain the wardens are usually stationed nearby, but their posts are empty. Where have they gone? Must be an excellent punishment. Okay. Step away from the corpse.
With each step, I forge my destiny among the stars.
I can't really... Can't pick anything up on him. Interesting. Back over here. Oh, it's gonna be the same thing. Okay, hang on here. Let's go ahead and say this. Recovers from her open mouth, her hand surprised. Alan, it can't be. Alan, was it? Tell me about him. Alan was one of the lower-ranked members of the House of Government. Despite his vanity, he never held high office, striving to better his position, even beyond his abilities. Many members of the House struggled to cope with the misfortune that befell Kivagama and our family. Some members could not reconcile themselves to our new position. Alan was one of them. What could have happened to him? Fingers were at least clutching the fabric of her dress. Time to keep silent is long gone. Your future, the Von Valencia dynasty, and your house both at stake now. We lost Kivagama, a truly devastating blow every member of the house got. I lost all hope for the future, and my kin lost their sense of purpose. We needed time to recover and chart a new course for ourselves. We were and still are more than capable of doing that. But I will not deny it. The other houses have offered us assistance for their own self-serving ends. Perhaps Helen decided to take them up on one of their offers behind my back. Whoa. Okay. Satchel bows ever so slightly and speaks quietly so that only you can hear. Lord Captain. Galprix. All or perhaps some of them are definitely involved, but I suspect that they were not behind the plot against you. House Galprix could be nothing more than a puppet in the hands of a deaf puppet master. Must expose whoever that is preventing whoever that is if we are to prevent the pestilence of heresy from spreading further. I suggest we do. Interrogate the heads of Dry Seam House. One of them has been pulling strings. Once you uncovered new evidence, announced that the guilty party would publicly execute it. Before you pronounce the verdict, I suggest focusing on each house in your indictment speech, and I shall observe them. Good, okay. I have known those people far longer than you have. I know all of their gestures, habits, and behavioral quirks. I'm sure that I'll be able to determine which one was responsible for the riots. Or the riots based on their behavior. Okay. No. Not these guys. So let's come back over here. Let's talk to... Yeah. I've discovered a body in the palace, man of the house guard. Killed while praying to the air. He had this note on him. Do you know anything about it? Looks at the note without taking it from your hand and replies without hesitation. I know nothing about it. Interesting.
The Divine watches over us.
Didn't even look at it. Let's come back over here. Did I tell them about the note? Okay. That dialogue is done. Let's come over here. Talk. Let's talk to the governor. Cornelius is his son. Surrounded by his retinue, all dressed in expensive grounds price, match the color scheme of the office. Striking physical resemblance, they all come from one family. Your Lordship, thank you for giving us your undivided attention. Bows. What do you... I'm not going to do this. What do you make of this letter found on one of your assailants? Looks like another piece of evidence incriminating House Western. Perhaps they truly did intend to kill, or at least cause a stir and help them escape custody during the confusion. Assailants were high-functioning servitors. High-functioning servitors, such are indeed rare. And the Galprex do have them in their service, but this could have been done intentionally with an eye to confuse you. Anyone with desire and sufficient funds can hire them. Tell me more about your son. Thank you, your riches, but I'm not worthy of it. Son, show your respect. Forgive him. Your Lordship, first time he has the honor of attracting the attention of the rogue trader, okay? Hendrik narrows his eyes and glances at you, shakes his head. Tell me about your job. I manage the documents and records related to the economy of Dargonis. You probably know how scrupulous the workers of the Adeptus Administratum. So he's in the Adeptus Administratum. And that's where all the problems started. I'm afraid that more detailed explanation to you minor... Okay. Minor, the administrative prosecutor asked too long and overly detailed. Tries to look you in the eye, but it's clearly hard for him to do. How did you manage to find the forged documents? When compiling reports on the last cycle's supply chain, I noticed inaccuracies and discrepancies. With the help of other clerks, I managed to find several other documents. He stammers and swallows noisily. Comprehensive data analysis has shown that the discrepancies are caused by intentional tampering of the data, thus leading to some logistic problems that were practically unsolvable. Arthur and I have managed to single out the administrator responsible for the tampering there. Following a heated interrogation, they confessed that they were following orders of someone from the House Western. Everything was supposed to look as though they were the ones suffering great loss of religious... Okay. But how does Husser have access to Adeptus Administratum? There's no conceivable way they could do this, all of this, in a place where they did not have any power. I think the right amount of money can open any door. Cornelius, what's the true reason for your nervousness? This is the first time I've spoken face-to-face to the rogue trader. I'm afraid that saying something wrong or forgetting something important. Oh, okay, hang on. Governor closely watches his son. His tone changes, now sounding strict and curt. Do you wish to tell the Lord Captain anything else? Let's try cohesion. Coercion. You see a flash of terror in his eyes. He stares at your hand. He speaks quietly and confused while raising. Forgive me. Forgive me, your lordship. I can't do it anymore. Continue. The lies have gone too far. I cannot control it. The truth is, all the logistic problems are caused by a single error in the numbers. My mistake. Oh my goodness. What? When I discovered this mistake, it was almost impossible to destroy spy lines. Then I was approached by someone who said they were a friend. They did not give me their name and never saw the face. They promised to fix the problem. All I had to do was pretend that the Westerns were responsible for the mistake. And as for the rest of the evidence, they promised to arrange it all. And hang on here. What have you done? How could you, your lordship? The senator turns to you, trying to... This is my fault. I trusted my son. I failed you in doing so. I beg your mercy. Continue. And you call my family's honor into question, Urban. Nevertheless, I harbor no desire to kick a man when he is down. Lord Captain, the confession you obtained means the House Western can now be declared cleared. What is this friend that approached you, Cornelius? By letter. I received a letter out of the blue one day. It's unsigned, and the person writing it already knew about my erroneous calculations. They offered to help me cover my misdeed. In return, I would name the Westerns as the ones who sabotaged supply lines. All I had to do was gather together some documents, reports that were listed in one of the letters. That, and keep my mouth shut. I find your son has courage to admit his mistakes. I will try and find some compassion for him in my heart. Thank you, your lordship. Lord Beverus gives his son. A look full of bitterness and frustration. As for your position, I think you'll be assigned to a role requiring less responsibility. Did you see Alan? I did not see him myself, but perhaps have any of you seen him today? Dry steamers, a noble Taquaman, and then middle-aged woman with a tall, extravagant hairstyle apprised you. I think my sister and I saw him sitting on a bench some distance away from the palace entrance. I think he was accompanied by a gentleman, but forgive me, your lordship, I could not make out his face. Lead me to that place. Of course, consider it done. Oh. Where were they sitting?
We are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Bench.
I need to look closer.
I saw Lord Goblin conversing with someone here, your lordship. Percent awareness.
As it should be.
I recognize this bouquet. House Sourback. Usually, hang on, what was that? House Sourback usually serves this wine. Oh, okay. House Sourback. Okay, let's go back to Governor. Get everybody back here. I found a dead body in the palace. A member of the House Goprick was slain in the altar. Do you know anything about it? Killed in the palace? No one noticed it? But how? There are wardens posted at every altar. There was no one near the deceased. The warden had left their post. Did you order them to go? Emperor forbid, your lordship. Helps you have there. This is to signify his powerlessness. Your negligence is stunning, Oberyn. An assassination attempt followed by a mysterious death, and yet here you are, oblivious to everything. Rogue Trader can justly accuse you of allowing a noble to be killed in the palace and even failing to notice it? It may be true, but it is for the Rogue Trader to accuse me of negligence, not you. That's true. Your lordship, I accept my deepest apologies for my imprudence. Nothing matters to me more than my honor. I shall send the servants to deal with all this immediately. Turn to you later. I want to come back here and re-talk to the Sourbacks real quick. No, there's nothing here. Alright, so based upon what I'm seeing, I think it is the Sourbacks. Let's call the governor. Summon everyone, ready to pronounce the verdict. Allow me to prepare everything. Okay, so let's... Many faces watch you, and everyone awaiting the Rogue Trader's verdict. Charges brought by Governor Drystream were fabricated. House Western had nothing to do with the orchestration of the riots or the plot targeting the Rogue Trader. However, the real perpetrators are here in this very room. Yep. Sancho nods to you as if urging you, then shifts his gauge. Awareness. Reverend Einstein, you exhibit excusable negligence by failing to question possible involvement in any one of the family Westerns. We discovered that an attempt on my life was orchestrated by members of the House Galprick. No, that doesn't sound right. Urban Drivesney, you have accused the House Western of violence, grave error, okay, resulting in... Okay, hang on here. Let's see. How am I going to do this? No, I don't think it was House Galprick. You accused the House Western in violation that were in truth result of the grave error committed by your son. That's going to be true. I know that House Sarback offered their help, and the late seem to have accepted the offer. I suspect that you are responsible for his death as well. Let's try this. Curse's bow slightly cocks his head. He averts his gaze at first, as if trying to remember or make sense of something. You notice something restless moving behind him. Abelard narrows eyes and scrutinizes Martin Salvik and his retinue standing behind him. His sharp eyes light up as he catches sight of something important and hidden in the crowd. The Sencho looks at you and nods as if to say, the puppeteer has pronounced the verdict. Okay, hang on here. It's not any of these other ones. I think this was this. Okay. So it is the Sauerbachs. Well, let's do this one. Governor closes fear, surprise. Yeah, okay. Howard looks at the governor and you suddenly shakes his head as saying, no, it's not the drive stick not pulling the strings here. I don't think the Galpricks are, I think it's the Sauerbachs. So I think I can do these, but I don't think it's going to mean anything. I find room is tense of the air. It's got to be House Sauerbach. The Henner family never tried to hide the attitudes oriented is more than enough to convict him. House Sauerbach guilty. Central, you may take it from here. Abelard steps forward, stares at sword. I admit that I've always admired your bluntness, but just as I once had to say goodbye to a promotion because of my dislike for intrigue, you and your family might soon say goodbye to your heads. Tell me, how in the blunt fashion, are you loyal to House von Valencia? I am loyal to I am loyal to Wesserin. What? Auerbach studies. You are not lying, but someone else is. Someone who poised to destroy both you and your family for her own gain. Really? Does not have time to respond. Regina, who's standing beside him, raises her arm as if to slap the elderly Sensual. Abelard deftly catches her wrist, stopping her hand right in front of his face. Her dainty hand is adorned with a massive augmented ring topped with a thin spike dripping with venom. Sauerbach shifts his confused gaze from his wife to Abelard, then back again. The stiffened arrogance has vanished. Regina, you? Mother, upon realizing what has happened, recoils from his mother. Okay, so your bluntness makes you an open book. When I talked about helping governors, you had no idea that what I was referring to. Your wife, on the other hand, her eyes started shifting like you would not believe. Regina Sauerbach, you alone betrayed... I missed something. And I just stumbled into this. You alone betrayed the rogue traitor, jeopardizing the posterity of the von Valencia dynasty. And you alone are responsible for your unmasking. Why did you do this? Because Draconis is serving as an impostor. The true heir protectorate bears a different name. When Conrad appeared on the Draconis, he paid me a visit and opened my eyes to the truth. Theodore was killed by one of whom she had so unwarily taken under her wing. Arcanus is too merry-minded even to consider opposing the rogue traitor, even the illegitimate one. So I had to wait for the right moment, and then the disappearance of the Lord Captain could not have come at a better time. It was quite simple to trigger chain events on Dargonis so that the people remembered Master Volk's past service, and it seemed that many of your subjects would not actually consider you a worthy successor. Why the Westerns? Because when stripped of the Sauerbach's protection, this house is the weakest one on Dargonis. They're also particularly disliked by the governor's family. It would have been easy to bury the Westerns under an accusation of heresy. Who aided you? Oh, of course, I didn't. I have too many helpers to list them, but rest assured there are plenty of them. Just as there are plenty of people who follow Master Victor. My death will not change anything. The true rogue traitor will come and take his rightful place when the time is right. Why did you kill Halen? Halen was a good agent, but he was also a coward. He came to me just before our formidable and he was ready to confess everything. I suggest that he plead for the governor's forgiveness first, and he did grant him mercy, did he not? He was ready to confess everything. I suggested that he plead for the emperor's forgiveness first, and he did grant him mercy, did he not? So she killed him. Abelard, the sentence has yet to be carried out. Finish this. Does the rogue trader condemn only the rotten apple or the entire barrel? No, I'm not going to wipe out the whole family, just her. In the case, Virginia shall be subject to intense interrogation followed by execution. Receive traitor's ring. All right. I think I probably should have gone through all the dialogue choices, but I was pretty sure the Sourbacks were, but I didn't think it was Regina. I didn't think she was the lone one. I think Cunard is involved in this somehow. So, well, that was fun. Good little storyline. Let's see, what do we got now? Honor the rogue trader Regina Sourback is sentenced to death for heresy and crimes against Von Valencia trade dynasty. What are we going to do? Are we going to hang her? Oh, gross. Well, it is 40K. But that's a little much, I think. All right. Okay. Abelard. When the noble is dispersed, sated by the bloody performance, Abelard approaches you, his steps firm. Lord Captain. You have my thanks. Rogue trader should not waste time on the matters that his servants and trustees control. But in this case, your intervention was necessary. Not just for the sake of my family, but for your trade dynasty as well. Game 50. Regina Sourback. Evidently, Cunard's accomplices continue to plot against your protectorate. I fear we have not heard the last of such scoundrels. Thanks to you, Lord Captain, Western was saved. Although it came close to being wiped out as a result of scheming without and imprudence within. Sometimes I think about how much I could teach them. I could ensure that they survive in the future without me. You and your family must be prepared for the next time something like this happens. Yes. That is true. They need to be prepared for it, and I believe that they will be able to take care of themselves. I need time to reflect upon what has happened and the role I play in it. I think I'll be ready to resume the conversation later when we are back on board the ship. Bows to you, deferredly, and turns away, lost in thought. Okay. Alright, blood ties. Talk to her. Lordship, I hope your standing would be beneficial to your physical and mental state. I understand that Hair Protector must have his hands full, but one shouldn't forget about rest. Okay, that's all normal stuff. There's your service day and night. And dialogue. Okay, I don't think there's anything here. Alright, I think this is a great place for me to... oh, let me go to inventory here. We've got this ring. A ring that fires... It's a Xeno artifact. That fires a single liquefied shot, can only be used once per combat. So it is a combat ring of some kind. Sure. Who would want this? I mean, being a Xeno weapon... Sounds like something you would use. Doesn't say. Ring fires a single liquefied shot. Doesn't say what damage it does. trader's ring. Yeah, I don't know if I want to have the trader's ring on her. Would be pretty good. Let's put this on you for the time being. I know this is probably a very powerful weapon, but it is a Xeno artifact. I'm not sure I want to be using Xeno artifacts. Okay. I think this is where I'm going to save it. Thank you very much for watching. Everybody have a terrific day.